Satnam, welcome. Day 25, marker day. I have all my fans here. And I'm sitting right in the sunlight, so I get warm. Okay, so here we are. Still going strong for those who are doing this and showing up every day. Yay, yay. Let's tune in and I'll share some things with you. And today we're not using metronome, so definitely going to be tuning into our breath and following what's comfortable on inhales and exhales. But let's tune in first. Bring our hands in front of the heart center, palms pressing slightly together. And just let's take a deep inhale and full exhale. Inhaling, lengthening your spine, pulling up through the crown of your head. Exhale, relaxing the body, relaxing the shoulders, but maintaining that elevated posture. Again, deeply inhale. And full exhale, activating that navel center, draw the belly button in towards the spine. One more time, deeply inhale. Eyes are closed, gazing to the brow point. Setting your intention. And exhale. Let's inhale deeply to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Adgure Name, Jugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Adgure Name, Jugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Adgure Name, Jugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Deeply inhale. Suspending the breath, engaging the Mula Bandha, gazing to the pituitary point, the space between your eyebrows, holding still. And exhale and relax. Satnam, everyone. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, because that came up in a conversation yesterday with my friend, how it works for me doesn't necessarily is gonna work the same for you. We do the fists of anger, and usually I start off with, in the beginning there were some things that I was angry about and that was easy, and then there are periods where there isn't really much to be angry about in the moment. All you have to do is turn on the news, right? And steam will be coming out of ears. But luckily for me, I don't have cable. So what I was sharing is that for me, the fist of anger in the morning works out the issue that comes up in the meditation the day before. So like yesterday in the meditation, I was feeling into the whole, family pattern, my family pattern, not like my immediate family, but my extended family, specifically on my mother's side. We were separated when I was 5 years old. My grandmother and my mom's sisters all left for America in 1979. So for 10 years, I grew up only with one grandma, my dad's mom, and she loved me, and I got that relationship that it was awesome. But so it was like this gap. But you have these long distance relationship as a child, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta talk to my grandma. They used to call, and it was so expensive. We had to talk so fast. And it was just a pleasure to just hear them for a couple of seconds. And then we get lucky to actually immigrate. I have birds outside of my window. How cool is that? So I actually, growing up, never thought that I would ever walk on this continent. It felt, and it seemed so impossible, like so surreal. And so my vision of the family, community, and tightness and close knitness was like a dream, a real dream. And what I've experienced in the first year, you know, it was completely the opposite. Like so many clicks and so many favorites, and you know, it just like it didn't feel good. And then having fallen in love with someone who is outside of the faith, outside of the race, you know, caused a lot of friction in the family. So my first husband was Filipino, American Filipino, so brown skin, you know, Filipino looking, Catholic, you know, and that sent everybody on a rampage where I was disowned by my family for about 4 or 5 years. And that caused a lot of pain. You know, not only I lost my family and all access to my aunts, uncles, my cousins that were being born, you know, the family was still growing. At the same time, I also mentioned before that I lost my friends, you know, who didn't want to be associated with me, the rebel. So it was a very emotional time for me. And so it's hard for me to be, I am definitely civil and cordial with my grandparents now that we have a relationship, if you call that a relationship. I don't really call them, I don't really, you know, I kind of get the news from my mom. But I was reflecting on that they are in their elder years and they're not gonna be here forever. And I was asking myself, because that's the inner conflict, I was asking myself, inquiring and feeling curious about what it would feel like to make amends, what it would feel like to speak my truth and share the feelings of this abandonment that I've experienced. And is it worth it? You know, is it worth it to, I don't want to say word confront because that's so loaded of a word, but I want to have a conversation. I want to know why they acted the way they acted. I understand from religious perspective, you know, you have to stay within the faith, and it's not just in Judaism. Many religious communities preach the same thing. But why? Why? You know, it doesn't make me less Jewish if I marry somebody outside of faith, you know. But perhaps I rationalized and I thought, okay, well, maybe then my kids' upbringing would be a little bit more diluted. You know, it won't be as strict. But my upbringing wasn't very strict in Judaism either. So I just felt it was so unfair the way it was treated. I wasn't able to go to my uncle's wedding. You know, it was just really sad and very painful, very hurtful. And I sit with the feelings that you don't do that to a family. You don't do that to your blood. I don't know. Because I also have an uncle on my father's side who married a Christian lady. And even though my grandmother didn't speak to him for 20 years, my grandfather, who was the sole survivor of the Holocaust and lost his entire family, was totally embracing. Because I remember him saying to me, because I asked him as a child, I said, Grandpa, how come you and Uncle Yaakov are still communicating and like have a good relationship, but Grandma doesn't? And he said to me, I do not object to my son being married to a Christian because I didn't want to lose him. I would lose a limb of my tree. You know, I would lose my son and my daughter-in-law and the grandkids. Why? This way I gain. And I just like those words so sunk deep into me that I thought it doesn't matter who I marry. If my grandfather could embrace, then so everybody else should be able to, right? So naive. So my inner conflict is sitting with, do I speak with my grandparents while they're here? Do I not? Do I go to their funeral, or do I really show how I feel about them and not go? And it sounds so mean, but that's my conflict. And so my conflicts come up in the meditation. And so the following day I address that in my fist of anger. So however it works for you, I just wanted to share what I am sitting with today, heavy around religious upbringing and family relations. And I know it feels like religion is not gonna be dominating too much longer on this planet, I hope, because huge revelations are coming. So, and I feel that the family connection is priority. It's the first and foremost, just regardless of what's happening. And what my grandfather said about losing a child, to me, that's like, no matter what my children choose, I'm not going to, brainwash them into it. It has to be I joke about it. I say it's preferred, but they can't control who they're gonna fall in love with, and neither could I, So let's begin our fists of anger with a powerful breath of fire through the O-shaped mouth. Make sure you have your water nearby. Mudra is thumbs on base of the pinky, squeezing the thumb tightly, backward stroke. Let's start with the breath first. Close the eyes, focus at the brow point, pumping the navel, and begin. Inhale deeply, interlace the fingers, stretch the arms out, root lock. Squeeze tight. Two more times. Bring your hands onto your lap or your knees. Tend to your body if you need to. Get a sip of water. But keep this meditative space. Go within. Let's take a deep inhale together. A sigh or an exhale. Two more times. And when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes. It really takes a village to raise a child, and I feel that my connection to my father's side family is so much closer. My relationship with my uncle who's in Israel is much deeper and much more soul satisfying than my relationship with my two aunts who live in Miami. It's ironic. And my other relationship with my other uncle on my mother's side is non-existent. So it hurts, and I am angry about it. And so I am asking for guidance from my higher self on how to proceed, so that way I am living in my truth and I'm honoring me. But it's also about understanding, and if I do believe that family connection should be strong, then it feels like I am the one to initiate that. I am the one to cultivate that, and I should lead into mending that. But there's so much internal resistance, like, but they hurt me so bad, and they never apologize, and they always think that they're righteous and they're better, you know, and it's hard to navigate that. So going on to our meditation, and this is what I do. I ask for guidance. Maybe other stuff will come up. I don't know. All right, sitting comfortably, bringing the hands onto the chest. We'll take a deep inhale together first, and full exhale. Gazing to the third eye or eyelids closed, 9/10. Let's inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale 5 seconds. Relaxing the diaphragm and abdomen. Suspending the breath, keeping the breath out. 12 to 15 seconds. Inhaling 5. Exhaling for 5. Being relaxed in your body. If the mind drifts off, bring it back to your breath. Make this your last cycle. When you're ready, deeply inhale. Suspend the breath, engage the root lock. Exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Shake the arms, shake the spine, shake the knees. Exhale. Stay here for just a moment. Let's take a deep inhale, a sigh, and an exhale. And one more time. And when you're ready, you could gently open your eyes. Yes, so it's interesting in meditation, in the process, things might come up, or things come up after we've done the meditation, when we're staying in that space because we're ready to listen. And it's also interesting that the mind, understanding my dilemma, tries to give me the solutions, you know, and it's interesting to just observe the myriad of solutions that the ego tries to present. Oh, use a pendulum to solve or not to solve, to initiate, not to do a reading, go to psychic, ask, you know. So it's like, bleh. But it's all the noise. It has to come from the heart. It has to come from the heart, not from the here, from here. Because when it comes here, when it becomes, potentially for me, might become confrontational and not pretty. So I have to feel good here. And I want this heart center to lead. So just wanted to share that. Let's bring our hands together to seal our practice with one long Sat Nam. Inhaling deeply first. Exhale. Inhale again. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Thank you so much. It's interesting that all of this is on YouTube and documented, and any of my family members could listen to it, but they don't, and I know they won't, so I'm safe. I could share, and this is my safe space. Sat Nam, thank you so much. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, Friday. at 9:45